Hi, this video is a breakdown of my version of Liquid Glass for After Effects. There are lots of videos on this topic and I found them a bit too stylized. The iOS 26 interface needs to be efficient and run smoothly on different devices. So that's exactly what I had in mind when I created this, to mimic the Liquid Glass as close as possible. If you want the full project, it's available over at my Gumroad. Link is in the description. Just a heads up, this is no step-by-step tutorial, but more of a breakdown on how the file works. And here is how it's structured. We have the master controls. This is where you can control the position of the shape. I've added X and Y anchors, so you can decide which direction the shape is created. To create the Bezier shape, I've used my Squircle script. The curve is where you can create the typical Apple Squircle. The roundness is where the roundness is starting. For the bounciness, you can control that with amplitude, frequency and decay. And this makes the movement more dynamic. At the end here we have some glass effects. You can see that if I set it to 0 you get more or less no glass effect, and at minus 210 you get a lot. And you can also overdo the glass effect. To break this down, we have the source image at the back, and then we have the glass. It's on the displacement map driven by a layer style to get the correct refractiveness that are flipped at the edges. The layer styles are more efficient and is object-based. So the effect is using the whole shape and not the whole window. First we have one blur effect that helps distinguish the shape from the background. And then we have a secondary blur that add a haze that average out the colors. Then we have the glass shadow that darken the edges, that adds depth, and also we have the drop shadow underneath. Then we need a background color that makes text on top easier to read. At last we have an edge displacement that are flipping the colors that are close by. Here I have also added more saturation and some lightness. This is all driven by the edge glint. Then I also have the text that I added some anchor functions to. Okay, in some part of the interface, the glass is colored by the background that uses source image. So average color from the background is used as an overlay. So now if you see when I animate this, changing the edge color and background. There's a lot of details that goes into this interface, and I hope this gives you a solid starting point. If you want the project file, it's over at my Gumroad. Link is in the description. Hope to see you there. Check out my other videos and have a good day.